Hello and welcome back to another video on the Football Zone and to another weekend preview. A big weekend of Premier League and Championship action coming up, starting off on Friday night in the Premier League with Newcastle hosting Leeds. And yeah, to be honest, this is a game where both teams could do with a win. Newcastle on 1 point, Leeds on 2 points, not being a great start to the season for either side. And so yeah, both sides will see this as an opportunity to finally get a win on the board. And yeah, I just think Leeds aren't in a great spot at the moment. I'm going to predict Newcastle to edge it. It's sort of game they win. Before we move on to Wolves versus Brentford on Saturday in the Premier League. And Wolves, of course, getting their first win last time out, which was a crucial win because they obviously hadn't had the best start to the season. Brentford obviously got a dream start against Arsenal, but yeah, 2 points since then. So it's not been going awfully well as of late. But, you know, still having a decent start to the season. But if you look at the two squads on paper, I do think Wolves just have a bit too much for Brentford. I think it'll be close. I'm going to say 1-0. Burnley host Arsenal in the Premier League at 3 o'clock on Saturday. And this is a really interesting one. Obviously, Sean Dyche recently signed a new contract. 1 point after 4 games. Does he deserve it? Of course he does. But yeah, a bit of a weird timing. Arsenal, 3 points so far, but obviously getting a win last time out. It does seem like they are starting to slowly turn it around, and I do think they will keep that up here. I think they'll have a bit too much for Burnley. I'm going to say it'll be tense and nervy, but I'm going to say a 1-0 win. Moving on now to Anfield, where Liverpool host Crystal Palace, and yeah, two sides who are looking quite good at the moment. Liverpool have performed very well so far this season, 3-0 beating Leeds, and Crystal Palace, we saw how good they could do against Tottenham, and it looks like they are starting to get some players in now. Edouard, Gallagher, Elise, all looking pretty solid in the win over Tottenham. But even still, I do think Liverpool will have a bit too much for Palace here. I just think they've looked quite good so far, so I'm going to say 2-0. Moving on then to the Etihad Stadium, where Manchester City host Southampton. And yeah, Man City 9 points so far, but 11 goals from 4 games. I think it could be another rout for Man City here against the Southampton side, which, let's face it, they're okay, but they're not that great at all, really. So I'm definitely expecting a City win here, and I think it will be quite comfortable. I'm going to say a 4-0 win to Man City. Not much hope for Southampton here. Moving on, Norwich host Watford at Carrow Road, and this is a huge game for Norwich. Obviously, we know how tough the start's been for them. Not the kindest of the fixture list, but they do need a win here. Watford only 3 points from 4 games as well, so they've not had the best of starts either. Both teams will be desperate for a win here in a game between two newly promoted sides. It's kind of the game that both of these sides have to win, but I do fancy Norwich with home advantage will just edge it. I'm going to say a 1-0 to win to Norwich. Moving on then to the late game on Saturday, Aston Villa host Everton, and this is a game that I'm really looking forward to. Villa obviously haven't had the best start to the season, I think it's fair to say. 4 points from 4 games, but obviously it is taking a bit of time for all the new signings to bed in under Dean Smith and everything like that. But Everton up to 4th now, and yeah, under Rafa Benitez, some of the signings didn't really convince me, but fair play to them, they've got off to a great start. But still, Villa having home advantage, I'm expecting this to be a really close game. I think it could go either way, but I think it will result in a draw. I'm going to say 1-1. Moving on to the Sunday game now, Brighton host Leicester. And yeah, this is an interesting one. Leicester obviously only losing 1-0 to Man City last time out, but you know, by their standards, only 6 points from 4 games. Normally they're right at the top at the beginning, so I don't know if they'll be happy or not. Brighton, on the other hand, will be very happy. 6 so far in the league with 9 points from 4 games. It's been an outstanding start for them. But yeah, for sure this will be a tough game for them to keep it up, and I think it could go either way, but I do fancy the Foxes to just sneak the win. I'm going to say 1-0. Moving on now, West Ham host Manchester United at the London Stadium, and this is a game that I'm really looking forward to. United, as it stands, obviously top of the table with that far superior goal difference. West Ham in 8th. But yeah, they should have had more points really over the last 2 games. In fact, there's an argument that could be made that West Ham could be on 12 points. So I'm really looking forward to this game. But with Ronaldo in that United squad, you just feel like he can make the difference. I'm going to say a 2-0 United win. And moving on, Tottenham host Chelsea in the Premier League on Sunday at 4:30. In another game that I'm really looking forward to. Tottenham, great start, but obviously drowned out by the loss to Crystal Palace last time out. But Chelsea 3-0 win over Villa, 1-0 over Zenit in the Champions League. They're looking strong. But yeah, I do kind of think this game could go either way, and I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea drop points here at all. I'm going to say a 1-1 with Kane and Lukaku on the score sheets. Moving on now to the Championship, and it's Sheffield United who take on Hull at Bramall Lane. And yeah, I'm sorry it's at the Cacom Stadium, my mistake. But yeah, this is a game I'm looking forward to. Sheffield United obviously really bottled those points towards the end against Preston last time out. Hull 2-0 lost to Blackburn, so both teams need a win. And it'll be interesting to see who gets it here. But I just think with that extra little bit of quality, I mean, one was playing in the Premier League, one was playing in League One last season. Sheffield United will nick it. Moving on now, Barnsley host Blackburn at Oakwell. And yeah, Barnsley, I've got my doubts about them under Marcus Schopp. They haven't been great recently, but Blackburn, they've been very solid. Ben Brereton is like a new player this season. So yeah, I do think Blackburn will be probably considered favourites going into this, but Barnsley, home advantage, I'm not sure it'll be as simple as that. I think it'll be a close game, and I think it may result in a draw. Cardiff host Bournemouth at the Cardiff City Stadium next up, and Cardiff, they're really inconsistent at the moment. They seem to pick up a solid win and then lose to Coventry, which is disappointing for them. Bournemouth, though, they've won the last two, so yeah, they'll be pretty full of confidence under Scott Parker. They went on a bit of a dip, but yeah, they're going back up now. Third place, joint with West Brom, and I think they will fancy themselves here. I think it'll be a close game, two very solid sides who I expect to be in and around the playoffs, but I think Bournemouth will nick it 1-0. Moving on, Derby host Stoke at Pride Park, and Derby, rumours of a points deduction looming, and yeah, on the pitch it started to go downhill for them a bit recently in terms of results, but a draw against West Brom last time out is a great result for them, and they'll definitely carry a lot of confidence into this against a Stoke side who are doing similarly well. They can only draw against Barnsley last time out, although they should have won, but I do think Stoke will nick it here. I'm going to say a 1-0 win. Moving on, Fulham host Reading at Craven Cottage, and yeah, I think Fulham have to be considered favourites for this. Was it Fulham 17 goals from 7, and Reading have conceded 17 goals from 7. Reading are scoring for fun as well, 13 goals so far, I believe it is. But yeah, Fulham have to be considered favourites here, with how good their attack's looking and how shaky Reading are looking at the back. Although they did get the win on Tuesday, I think this is only going one way, and a comfortable win for Fulham. Moving on, Huddersfield host Nottingham Forest at the Kirklees Stadium. Huddersfield, what a start to the season they've had. In 6th place, 13 points from 7 games. Not many people would have saw that coming, especially when they got hammered by Fulham. So all credit to Carlos Corberán and the gang. Forest, on the other hand, 1 point from 7 games. Chris Hughton gone, no new manager at the time of talking. So yeah, Huddersfield, I think this is only going one way, and that's a win for them. I'm going to say 2-0. Moving on, Luton hosts Swansea at Kenilworth Road, and Luton getting a 1-1 draw against Bristol City last time out. I think they could have thought they could have won that as well, so maybe slightly frustrating for them. Against Swansea, who against Millwall could only manage a draw, 2 draws from 2 winnable home games last time out. Yeah, it really is taking some time to adapt under Russell Martin, and I think Luton have to be considered favourites for this one, and I do think they will get the win. I'm going to say 1-0. Moving on, Middlesbrough host Blackpool at the Riverside. Middlesbrough, yeah, it's been a bit of an average start to the season for them, to be honest, but obviously a comfortable 2-0 win away last time against Forest improved that record. They're in 11th now, so yeah, they'll be pretty pleased with that result against the Blackpool side, who do seem to be struggling a bit with that 3-0 loss to Huddersfield, although they did have that fluke result against Fulham, but I think Borough will have too much here for them. I'm going to say 2-0. Moving on, Millwall host Coventry at the Den, and Coventry, once again, they've had a brilliant start to the season. In 4th, 15th from 7. I don't think many people would have seen that coming. In fact, I had them in the relegation zone in my predictions. Shows what I know. Millwall in 15th, a team that I really expected to have a better start to the season. And yeah, I think this is a game against a side who started well, where they feel they could really get a win and start to kick on. But it won't be easy at all. I think it'll be a closely contested game, and I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. Moving on, Peterborough host Birmingham at the Western Home Stadium, and yeah, Birmingham, I think they feel like this is a game that they need to get back on track against the Peterborough side, who are struggling at the moment, let's face it, after that loss to Fulham in the week. So yeah, they'll definitely want to get the win here. And I do think they will be able to. Deeney getting his first goal in midweek is a positive for them. So let's see what happens. I do think they will have enough to get the win. I'm going to say a 2-0 win. Moving on, Preston host West Brom at Deepdale. Preston, solid point last time out against Sheffield United. 2 points on the road from the last 2 games, which I think they'll be relatively happy with that. And they won the 3 games before that in all competitions. They're doing really well at the moment. West Brom, however, 2 draws in a row against 2 winnable opponents. So yeah, the fast start maybe just being undone a little bit. So yeah, they'll desperately want to win to get back on track here, and I do think they have the quality to do so. I'm going to say a 1-0 win. Moving on, QPR host Bristol City at Loftus Road. And yeah, QPR, they've only got 1 point from the last 2 games. And for a team that really is chasing the past, they kind of want to improve on that. And Bristol City, a team that's, let's face it, not that great. I think this is the perfect opportunity for them to get back on track. Bristol City in 12th, they're okay, but yeah, realistically they're a mid-table team and QPR are a playoff pushing team. QPR are the home advantage, so I think they should be winning this one. But anyway guys, that's it for the video. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, comments down below. If anyone wants to link in the description below for daily football news and subscribe to my channel on the screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for watching. Peace out.